When I'm lonely in the dark, I know you are with me, yeah. Don't you see that I need you so much? Don't you see that I love you so much? Oh na 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 na, oh na 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 na, darling, I need your love. Oh na 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 na, oh na 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 na, darling, I need your love.
Hallo Massakenners, it's the Faceless Vaper here, and we are live with Talking Vape. South Africa, our lekker local vape show, and with me tonight I have Mr. Khan himself and Verdict, and later on we're going to have a little chat to Mr. Kurt as well, talking about some vape advocacy, and we are excited. So if you're in the chat busy or something, won't you be as kind and quickly share this link to all your groups? Let's get this group going a bit. Let's get some more people in the chat. I'm quickly sharing it as well. So if you can share when you get the message, just go ahead, share the chat. And let's see if we can get some people together. Verdict is so excited. He's jumping up and down. Mr. Khan is just chilling that side in Joburg. He's having a lekker local Cape Town vibe in Joburg, it looks like, with his iced tea. So yes, guys, we hope everything is lekker that side. If you can perhaps in the chat give us a signal if you are hearing me clearly. I think the sound is going through on your side, so I hope that you are all hearing me. I just want to see our chat's comment. Verdict Khan isn't like updating inside of our live. And you guys know how much we have tested this stuff to see that everything works. But this is technology, né? So yeah, are you hearing us, people? Let me quickly have a look here in the chat. Goeienaand, Chantel Marie. Well, that was 11 minutes ago. Patricia, hello. Neil van Deventer, Masood, welcome. I'm just quickly going to do an update here. And let's quickly see if we can get the chat going so the boys can see who's talking to us. Okay, but let's start. Yes, there's the YouTube live chat connection is established. There's YouTube coming through. Let's hope Facebook is coming through. So you can also follow us on YouTube if you're sitting on your phone and you rather want to jump onto your smart TV and watch three smart okies talking about vaping and with someone else later. Yes, let's go. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off because there's some people of us that's active on Facebook. Some of our friends are joining us from Instagram tonight. So we're going to introduce ourselves. So let's go over to Mr. Khan. And Mr. Khan, tell us a little bit more about yourself, what you're vaping, and then we'll listen to you for a bit.
Are we, man? So thanks for joining us. I think it's the first for us here. Just like to welcome you guys all to our first live. Quick one, I'm not going to bore you guys. This evening I'm pulling on my Invader 3, rocking a Kali and rocking some lekker Supreme coils, and I'm vaping something new, old and new, which is now lemon cheesecake with a twist. It's a reworked recipe of the old recipe that I've got, and that's what I'm doing. A little bit back about me, I'm vaping something less than 4 years. Reason for vaping was to get me off the stinkies. I was smoking from 1985, 86 to ek 'n lekker stout kind was. And it was a bad habit that I picked up, and I could never drop it until I was introduced to vaping. Strangely enough, I was introduced to vaping by my son, and he got me onto it. And our local store in Lenasia was my first store I visited, and I haven't looked back since that day. To get me off the stinkies, I was introduced to vaping by my son, and he got me onto it. And
let me put your mic is not you're got very fake.
It's just Khan's wife telling him that people are struggling to hear him. It's a good thing that the wife helps you.
She does. She does. Is that better, guys?
I'm hearing you good on this side, Khan.
The guys on the live stream, are you guys hearing me loud and clear? So that's it. And my whole life changed after I started vaping. So I started breathing nicer. The food taste, for me, it's a bit of a yes, no. Because, I mean, I've been vaping from 1985, so I wouldn't know how something tasted back then. So the taste became better. My breathing became better. My sinuses started dropping. And what can we say? It's a better lifestyle, 95% safer. All that nicotine gone. And yesterday, all now I'm doing is I'm spoilt with flavors galore. So I can have all that lovely desserts that I enjoy without putting on that extra calories. And a little background about me, I have some health issues. So for the last 22 years, I'm suffering with a condition called overactive thyroid. So overactive thyroid. So since vaping as well, I found a big difference in my health where certain conditions of thyroid, if you guys know, I'm not going to get into the medical things, but that has improved as well. So that's just awesome.
So it's
So
younger.
for the rest-
Are you younger now? Sorry.
Look, the younger part is because I'm drinking from the same fountain that you drank, the fountain of youth.
Hey! Oh!
So
we know
that's
that
what it
fountain
is.
very well.
Can I get some of that fountain of youth, please?
We're gonna pass it over to you.
Pop
Okay,
Faceless,
awesome.
Pop Faceless the location.
Angelo.
Con, I just want to quickly that we check in the chat. You suddenly became very loud on my side. People, can you help us out here? Is the sound going good on your side? I see our chat isn't updating Facebook. It's just updating the YouTube chat, but I can't change that now. Then I have to cancel the stream. So we'll follow you guys on Facebook in the chat there. Give us a shout out. All the sounds good there. Julian, are you hearing Khan good? Or his sound crystal clear, or is he loud or echoing? Some people said Khan was echoing.
Yeah, I think everyone needs that fountain of youth. Well, that fountain lies in all the lovely vape juices that we have available, guys. So just grab a good vape juice and it's gonna keep you young. Thanks. Sound is great, guys.
Okay, awesome. Thank you, Khan. Let's go to the youngster in our group, the Energizer Bunny guy, Mr. Verdi.
Hey!
A little bit more about yourself.
Hey, thank you, Faceless. Thank you. Yo, I'm the youngest in this group. Yo, I feel honored because when I walk around, they call me Uncle Khal. So I'm Cape Cloud Verdict. I'm the Cape Cloud Verdict. I'm from Instagram. So this is my first appearance on Facebook, ladies and gentlemen. Hello, Facebook. Hello, everybody.
And
Cloud
YouTube,
Verdict over
and
here.
YouTube.
And YouTube. Hi guys, Tube. So I've been vaping for just over 8 years, more or less. Yes, I'm not going to give the exact date. I used to smoke 40 cigarettes a day, just over 40 cigarettes plus 3 at night, just before I go to bed. I puffed the cup, yeah. I came across vaping through an older gentleman, and it was through one of those pen devices. I was just checking the guy's cigarette, just didn't want it in, and I wanted some of that. And that's basically how I got into vaping, and then started expressing myself. Basically, 4 weeks after vaping, basically that's cold turkey. The taste of the food was amazing. I woke up with energy. I mean, as you can see, it's pumping through me constantly, and I love to eat. And my passion grew for vaping because of the taste of food, and that for me works hand in hand. And there was no stopping it after that, and just meeting more vapors from all walks of life, and that just grew my interest ever so more. And tonight, what I am vaping is the Noisy Cricket, one of the most popular semi-mech devices on the market, and the Dead Rabbit V2 RTA. And I have a set of Supreme Nano Aliens in here, and I am vaping the latest drop of Null E-Liquid, Yo-Yo Sup, Strawberry Yogi Sup. And I'm enjoying it so much. It's become an all-day vape for me. And that's basically more or less roundabout what I'm about. What I do in the industry is I help those in the industry get where they need to be. be it a mixer, be it a store, be it a person interested in vaping, you try and get you the correct device. So I want to give my energy to that person. So yeah, I love vaping.
Like a man. Con, maybe you can just help out quickly there for the people who just joined. I think that a lot of people missed what you're vaping on tonight and stuff. We'll talk a little bit more about the juice later, but what device you're using and stuff.
All right, I'm not testing any device. I just use my all-time favorite, which is my Invader 3, which is lovely wrapped, and with my Kali V2. I just love it. The flavor on here is just banging. But again, it's all about preference. And that's what I'm rocking. It's either this year or I use a Hex, but this year just awesome. Jy weet ek wil nou en dan net plat wees.
Lekker man.
So for those that don't understand Afrikaans, just that humble little fellow that just goes through life.
Lekker man. Okay, guys, and I'm the blue bearded faceless vapor. This is my first live, not as an animated or shadow lurking in the dark.
Welcome.
Lekker masse kinders.
Nice to see you, brother.
My brother, you've seen me so many times. Yeah, so this is my new look. I'm one of those weird people. I always have about 2 or 3 devices on my desk when I'm editing or working. So I've got the X with the QP Fatality with some nice, the Passion from the Volk Industries crushed. What side am I turning this in? Lekker Egypt's crushed. And then I've got some lekker blueberry custard here from Vapology in my reload, and then this little oak. I'm talking a little bit more about this one later. Toffee. Toffee from the Volk. So your guys are in for a treat. They released it yesterday, I think. I got it on Sunday. Mr. Delivery. Courier guys delivered on Sunday. And
yeah, you're a special person.
Yeah, you know I'm a special person. If the courier guys on my do not disturb list, that they can call me anytime. Don't want to miss out on juice. So yeah, I'm in the vaping scene because like I said on a previous live, I never smoked. But I was struggling with depression, and one evening at the braai, I tested someone's vape and I was like, sure, I love this taste. So then I got into vaping, loved the community. I'm in it for the community. I like the people. And then at some point, some people just asked me, because I buy so much juice, that I must start doing reviews and stuff. And that's how Faceless Vapor reviews start. And I'm still having a lot of fun. And maybe we can tell the people how we met. For me, I met Khan one random day. My phone rang and I saw it's Khan Hussein, and I was like, okay. And an hour later on the phone, we were like friends. And Vedic, you and myself, we're like together on a couple of groups where we help some juice makers advertise their stuff, but also test it and review for them. So that's how I met the two guys. Maybe Vedic, you and Khan can tell us how you met.
Okay. Yes, I'll give it. But Mr. Khan was an Energizer bunny that I saw hopping around, and I never got a call. Let me just put that out there. I never got a call from Mr. Khan, you know. And I actually got Mr. Khan at a Vape Fest down here in Cape Town, and he was bouncing around, and I thought, oh, look at this man here walking around here with a beard, and you know, yes, he's wearing sunglasses inside, you know, a closed area. It's inside, and this guy's wearing sunglasses, and he has a lab coat on. You know, he must be somebody important, and he walks right past me a couple of times, and I stop this guy and I say, hey, bearded man, what's your name? And then he tells me, who are you? And that was basically, I told him, look, this is who I am, or whatever. And he said, oh, liquor, give me your number, and then basically it hit off from there, and never a day goes by that I don't hear this man's voice or see his beard, and that's my view. That's my view.
And your
right, my view is similar to that. I was all excited. I heard about this Vape Fest, local store here in Lenasia. They said they're going down to Cape Town for the Vape Fest, a local juice guy. And I said, okay, cool, guys, can I tag along? And they said yes. So all these preps started because, it's all this excitement, getting to meet all these people that I watch on Instagram. When I started getting into vaping, one of my things was I wanted to always meet the guy behind the juice. Who made the juice? Who's this guy in the industry? And that's how I started, and I wanted to meet everyone. So I started off on Instagram and Facebook, started messaging all these guys in Cape Town, telling them I'm coming down to Cape Town, I want to meet you guys. Jy weet hoe is dit, bietjie uitgeskit. So that's how it went. And like our verdict said, I knew there was a verdict. Yes, verdict. We did speak before VapeCon, buddy, but it was on social media.
Oh. Yes.
And I got to Cape Town, to be honest to you. Yeah, I meet this guy. And I was always told that if you don't know someone, don't ever say you don't know them. Just make like you know them. And that's what I did. So, yeah, I took a lekker pick with verdict. We stood together and I carried on like I know him for years. And when I went home, came back to Joburg, looking through my pics, and I'm thinking to myself, shit, who is this guy that I took this picture with? And I hit out to Instagram and I said, hey, buddy, you know what? I was down at Cape Fest. He said, yeah, Hussein, it was so lucky to meet you. I'm saying, fuck, is that you? Sorry for the language. and that's how we became buddies, and we just started chatting. And our interest was the same. We wanted to know more about the industry, share more about the industry, what's happening in the industry, people in the industry. And my first meeting with Arno, I think it goes back to, can I mention it? A blotto post. The first man that broke a post on a blotto. Okay, you never break it, Arno. The post was.
Oh, yeah.
And all these guys were having this go at this gentleman called Arno on this here, which I further realized as Faceless review. And from that day, I just took him because he was someone that's so passionate that I never meet physically, but he was passionate about the industry, and his answers to people was just incredible. I think if it was me, I would have told everyone to go get, you know what? And he was just so cool about it. A guava, yeah.
Go get yourself a guava.
In this year, I think our paths crossed again, myself and Arno. And I watched a few of his reviews and I was just amazed. The way the man describes the flavor and breaks down the profile, he just became my go-to South African juice reviewer. I'm no juice reviewer, I'm no mod reviewer, I'm just a person that's passionate about the industry, that wants to link people together. And I think that's what I do best. When I tell people, I join the dotted lines. And then the same thing about our guest that's going to be on later. I think it was also a surprise with him because I used to follow him when he owned his vape shop. And I just wanted to know who's this gentleman that everyone talks so highly about. And finally got to meet him. I think it was at a VapeCon or at a birthday bash at one of the vape shops, but that will be later. So that's our long road or short road that's going to lead us even further. Three amazing guys with three passions that we sort of interlinked or interlocked without knowing that we would do this.
Yeah, it was strange. I think we really started chatting during lockdown, Khan, and then I think this whole vape show thing wasn't even an idea, but I met Verdict once or twice and I just thought, man, let's do something together. Can be fun. And I think you said something about getting to know juice makers, getting to know vendors, shops, distros and stuff. And for the people on the live, that's going to be our aim. This isn't going to be a show just about the three of us. We're going to invite different juice makers on. We're going to invite some international guys on. We're going to talk to some shop owners, because vaping is a community. We need to like each other, know each other, and stick together. So yeah, we're going to get on different influencers, reviewers, you name them. Send us suggestions who you'd like us to invite onto the show. And we're just going to roll with this and see how it goes. In any case, the three of us are going to have fun talking to each other in any case. So join us for the
Yeah.
ride and stuff. So that brings us to our first guest there, guys. Will you, Mr. Calm, be the man? Would introduce our first guest?
Drum roll,
Episode
please.
1.
Gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, or the broader Vape community family, the gentleman that I'm going to introduce, the three of us just thought it was the perfect opportunity to meet someone that we think is playing the most important role in the industry at the moment. As much as the juice makers are important, the mod makers, the coil makers, the RDA guys, but without this gentleman, what he's doing in the industry, we might not have vaping around if we don't follow him. Without further ado, I would like to introduce you guys to Mr. Kurt Yo. I hope I pronounced your surname right. You can just correct me. The last time I met him, he had a beard longer than mine. This time around, he looks 3 years younger than me. Without further ado, Kurt from Vaping Saved My Life. Over to you.
Hey!
Good evening, guys. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Yes.
Let me be the first one to congratulate
Welcome,
you
good.
and wish you all the greatest success in a fantastic initiative. I'm very excited for you guys, and I think it's going to be wonderful. I really think it's going to be wonderful. Thank you.
Thanks, Kurt.
Thank you, good.
Kurt, you know what? We're not going to have like an interview for you. You're going to be just like us. You can tell us your passion and what you're doing behind the scenes for us as vapers. Before you do that, for the community, if you see what's happening throughout the world at the moment with legislation in the United States about flavor bans, in the UK, Holland, New Zealand, Australia, I think what Kurt's doing, he's jumping the gun and he's working quicker than the rest, although we hit now with the ball. But let Kurt tell you more about it because he knows much more than us. Over to you, Kurt.
The floor is yours, brother.
Yeah, so yeah, I think let me just start off with a little bit of a history. I'm an ex-smoker. I smoked for 20 plus years, 40 cigarettes a day. My favorite brand, or the brand that I smoked a lot of, was Camel. And then my father's passing due to smoking-related disease. He died of a heart attack from smoking. Prompted me to start looking at ways of quitting. I did successfully quit for a couple of years, cold turkey, but literally one event and one cigarette, and I was back into the habit, and was very disappointed with myself. And then Twist was on the market, and I decided, let me just go give this a shot and try a Twist. And in those days, I mean, the Twists weren't fantastic. They were really not great at all. And it was successful in allowing me to wean off some of my cigarettes. Instead of smoking the 40 a day, I was now smoking 35. So I bumped into a colleague of mine who was selling these vapes from his boot in the parking lot. And I bought my first vape mod and sub-ohm tank, which was the incredibly complex and really state-of-the-art Kanga tech. And literally within 3 days of me using the Kanga tech, I quit smoking completely. And that's
Awesome.
over 6 years now. So the experience was so overwhelming and so life-changing that I left my role in corporate and decided to open up a vape shop, which wasn't the greatest success. I'm the first one to acknowledge that. I'm not a retailer, so it didn't work out. But there was still that passion. It's still that wanting to help people get off the cigarettes, because it dawned upon me that my son will never see his grandfather. He never met his grandfather. So my son is 11 years old, and I can only show him pictures. There's no videos. There's just stories and pictures, which, and what a lot of people don't understand is that smokers have families. They have kids, they have grandkids, they have, they have aunts and uncles. It's families, and smoking disease affects family units. And when you help a smoker, you're not only helping that particular individual, but you're helping their families too. And around about 2017, I got a wonderful phone call from somebody that I admire a lot in the industry, Craig Stewart from Sir Vape. And he said, Kurt, I think we need to really start thinking about, advocacy, start talking about vaping, not about devices, not about juices, not about what's the greatest RTA or RDA, but talk about vaping. And in September 2017, Vaping Saved My Life started. And it was at the time when our previous health minister, Aaron Motsoaledi, had publicly come out and said if he had his will, he would ban vaping today. Ban it, if he had his will. So I think the timing was perfect. And literally for 2 years, 2.5 years, all that Vaping Saved My Life was a testimonial page. So we invited people to go onto Vaping Saved My Life and share their life story, their vaping story, why it was important to them, what it meant to them, and their story. We still encourage it, and it's probably one of the biggest things we can do as a community is to share our stories, because that's an incredibly powerful tool to promote the benefits of switching, is what people have experienced. So we kind of get lost in the science reports, the data, the opinions from different sides of the corridor. But at the end of the day, you cannot dispute or you cannot dispel someone's life story. And I still people to jump onto our platforms and to share story and to share that platform as far and wide as possible so other people can talk about it. Because you can't dispel that. You can't brush it away. It's someone's experience. It's how they've dealt with it. It's vital that we do this kind of thing. And then in 2019, I got an invitation to attend the ESIG Summit, which is an annual event held in London, where all the scientists and researchers and policy advisors meet for a day to discuss the latest evidence in vaping, and people like Konstantinos Vassilinos, Clive Bates. There's a whole host of what now become the superstars of vaping have the opportunity to share what they're working on and present to those things, and that's where I got to.
Did we just lose Kurt there, guys?
Yes, I think we've lost Kurt. Let's see if he rejoins. Maybe he lost signal. Kurt, are you still there? Okay, Kurt dropped out.
Okay. While Arnold's trying to get Kurt back, I just want to drop in something. Kurt's doing some great work. And what I wanted to mention, if you take the 4 of us that are on this live at the moment, you have 3 ex-smokers that smoke nothing less than 30 cigarettes or 20 cigarettes a day. You have a gentleman that suffered from illness as well that turned to vaping that assisted him. So it just goes to show what vaping does to people. And remember, guys, we're up against many things in the world where we have countries that live on the sale of tobacco leaves that contributes to their GDP. I sound now like a financial advisor, but so those are the battles that you find in your big conglomerates or big companies that are your tobacco industries that have billions behind them that are supporting this whole thing to try to alleviate vaping. And it just goes to show everything that's good in the world becomes bad. And what's bad becomes good. If you take like the petroleum industry curbed the introduction of electronic cars, or what you call it. I think we have Kurt back.
Yes, it's back.
To you, Kurt.
Okay, sorry, I don't know where I left there. I don't know what happened, but
You were in the UK.
Okay,
You
so,
said-
sorry guys. So you know, there's only one thing older than me, yeah, and that's my IT equipment. So if that's not a craft for a sponsor, then I don't know what is. So basically, I was in the UK and I got to meet people like Clive Bates and Professor Konstantinos Fossolinos and a whole host of other people. And that's when then vaping saved my life and literally became more of an international thing. So we're proud to say that we are members of the World Vapers Association, or World Vapers Alliance, which is a group of like-minded activists, vape activists from around the world. And we share and we try to help one another. I'm also part of the International Nicotine Policy Group, where we have people like the profs and Clive Bates and those guys share some of the stuff what's happening from a scientific point of view. So, and that's where we are at the moment, and it's because of what we've seen and what's happened in the United States, Australia, Canada, where we need to really start thinking about, or being grown up about, advocacy. You know, it's not sexy, it's not fanfare, it's honest work. It's about talking about a technology and a method that will save millions of lives, and therefore we need to play at least a small part, or in a small part in advocating and treating it the way it should be treated, and that is a life-saving method. We can have fun, absolutely. There's nothing like new flavors and new RDAs and a whole host of things. There is a culture, but there's also a responsibility for all of us to fight for it, and fight for it as a single voice. The vape industry is made up of individuals. And I was listening to Con just briefly about the tobacco industry and all that. The reality is that tobacco industry isn't our enemy anymore. Tobacco industry is actually one of our greatest allies. So our biggest enemy at the moment is government and the tobacco control lobby groups, because they don't want to see vaping succeed. Because if vaping succeeds, it means that it kills their economy and it kills their invested interests that they have.
The GDP.
If we just think of organizations like Tobacco Free Kids in America, how many millions of dollars they earn a month from tobacco itself, from tobacco taxes. So they earn millions and millions of dollars. And if tobacco is not being sold in the form of a cigarette, they don't get that money. So they don't want people to quit smoking, although they'll say they want people to quit smoking, but their pure existence is on the sale of cigarettes. That's where their funding comes from. And if we look at our own groups in South Africa, that they also get funding from a lot of people that have a vested interest in people smoking. So it's very dilute, it's very dirty, it's very muddy. It's the only people that lose out are the smokers and the vapors. And the smokers that need to quit and they want to quit. I mean, we know that more than 70% of smokers do want to quit smoking, but they don't trust what vapors are telling them, because once again, we got the lobby groups and we got the government saying, don't vape, it's dangerous, it's poisonous.
Sorry, Kurt, just to stop you there. I have a question from someone in the audience. What's the biggest struggle at the moment with government and vaping regulations, and why are people so negative towards vaping? You sort of answered most of that, but if you can just elaborate slightly more.
Okay, so the biggest stumbling block that we have with government at the moment is a naivety and ignorance, a lack of knowledge. And remember that government gets their direction from certain sources, and those sources would be the World Health Organization and a number of other groups. And they've not ever been friends of the vaping community or the vaping technology. So government takes their lead from certain sources, and some of those sources happen to be medical doctors. Now, if you think about a doctor that has studied for decades and decades, and they have been programmed to understand that smoking is dangerous. And unfortunately, with smoking came this thing called nicotine. So doctors, and it's unfortunately a lot of doctors, at least 85% of doctors out there, believe that nicotine is dangerous and it causes cancer, and it's one of those problems. And that was an experience that we've seen in the UK up until very recently, where there was a long education program with doctors trying to educate them on the truth of nicotine and the role it plays in smoking. So, and it's even gone as far as to say that there's a phrase coming out of the UK and coming out from one of their leads, is that people smoke for nicotine, but they die from the tar.
That's it. Yeah.
Yes.
That's so
And
true.
nicotine, and one of the most interesting things about nicotine is classified as an essential medicine from the World Health Organization itself. So
Yeah.
that's where the very strange occurrence is that nicotine on its own is considered as an essential method or essential ingredient or lack of a better word, medicine on their list. But in the form of cigarettes, it's dangerous.
Sorry, just on nicotine, for the larger audience, some might know or some might not know. I think nicotine is also found in some vegetables. Am I correct in saying so?
So nicotine is found in any plant in the deadly nightshade variant. So that would include things like eggplants, tomatoes, cabbages, a whole host. Its yield in those applications and in those products is incredibly low. The highest yield is in a tobacco leaf.
Yeah.
So you could theoretically get nicotine from a tomato, but that would mean more than a bottle of all gold
Tomato.
to get your nicotine. It would mean tons and tons of tomatoes to get 1 milligram of nicotine, whereas tobacco leaf itself has the highest yield, and that's why tobacco is sometimes and almost always linked to nicotine. But nicotine itself, the human body does have nicotine receptors. It's something that the body can consume quite happily. It is an addictive substance. Its level of addiction is similar to that of caffeine.
Yeah.
So, and if you just got to think logically, and that's where a lot of people and a lot of scientists come unstuck, and a lot of policymakers come unstuck. If nicotine is so dangerous and so deadly and so unwanted, why can I walk into Dis-Chem tomorrow and pick up a bag of patches and gums straight off the shelf in 3 or 6 milligrams without, it's on the shelf. I don't have to ask the pharmacist for it. Right there, in any flavor I want or any flavor that they have available, walk up to the counter and buy it if nicotine is that dangerous. So, and that immediately trips them up in terms of when you have a discussion around nicotine. Once again, anything in high concentration levels is incredibly dangerous. So don't go out there and start buying and drinking 100 milligrams of nicotine. That's not what we say. What we're saying is that nicotine in its diluted form can be incredibly beneficial, and the science around nicotine is growing. And Aaron Biebert of A Billion Lives has just launched his new movie called You Don't Know Nicotine, where he looks at the role that nicotine could play in human society and the benefits So we know that nicotine has a very, very strong role in cognitive therapies, and helping people that have certain addictions. And there's even a link to treating Parkinson's. And this is all stemming from how vaping was introduced, because now nicotine is produced or provided in a far cleaner form, and it's not mixed with other deadly carcinogens and toxins from the combustion process. So nicotine in a cleaner form gives them a better way of studying what benefits it could bring. So yes, nicotine is incredibly misunderstood, and we're getting close to having people really understand what nicotine is about.
You know, it's Kurt, just on that, just slightly off the subject, it's regarding the guys that make juice. The reason of one of my loves to an international brand, which is Ruthless, was because I found and became buddies with one of the co-founders of Ruthless. And the reason he got into the business was the passion and desire, exactly what we have here, is to get people off smoking cigarettes and to get them onto vaping. So that was his journey, and that's my love to the company. And in South Africa, we do have one or two brands, which I'll mention as well. Juicy Elix, he has the same passion, Naeem Hussein, as a lot of other guys that is not making it. I might stand for correction, but as far as I know, Naeem is not in it for the buck. He's more in it to do something good to the community, for the community. And I think a lot of juice makers are also following that suit. And it's so lovely. And I think we as vapers need to start respecting it, respecting guys like you, start following. And, you know, you could just give us some of your links where people can start following, tagging, and giving information where we can grow this community in working together to help you with not your fight, but our fight eventually.
So yes, I think Naeem is phenomenal. A lot of respect for that man. He really, and he knows his stuff. And there's nothing wrong about making money in vape. And
100%.
And that's what, there's nothing wrong with it. And that's what makes me so frustrated with our industry at the moment, is because they're losing a phenomenal opportunity to get involved and have it constructed and built around what they believe could work. Government at this point in time is getting information from a certain location. And at this point in time, the Vaper Product Association has a very limited number of vendors on there. And the biggest vendor is a multinational company. And if you want the small mom and pop, independent, passionate, ever developing, ever evolving vaping community, that is fed by small businesses. And in order for us to have a strong small business in South Africa, we need the vaping community, and I'm talking to the vendors here, and I'm talking to the juice makers, to get involved, because you're losing the opportunity to have your say and to interact with policymakers and provide what you would like to see in the industry. Because what's going to happen is, when the small industry or the independent industry dies away, it's going to be taken over by a multinational, and there goes all the innovation, there goes all the different flavors. If you just think about it, what you're going to land up with a handful of generic flavors created by a multinational, and that's what you have compared to what you have now. I mean, there's new devices, there's new thoughts, there's new flavors, there's new flavor combinations. It's so dynamic, it's so fluid, and it's so much fun. And in order for this industry to grow in South Africa, the small businesses have to get involved. And my plea to them is, get involved. Join the association.
I think what I'm hearing, if I can quickly jump in here, is that we shouldn't be sleeping like other countries have slept on it. And I think that's the one thing, Kurt, you and your people are doing, is you're jumping the gun almost in being prepared for when the attack comes. And I think as a non-smoker, I was always feeling guilty, but sure, how can I go say vaping saves my life and stuff, saved my life and stuff. But then I just realized what this community, more than nicotine and the vaping, did for me. So I think it's a big community thing. And if I think of all the people I helped during lockdown to move over from smoking to vaping and how their lives improved in a couple of months, we need to talk about this. We need to be, as vapers, not as reviewers, Instagrammers, whatever. The way we represent the vaping scene in our country is important. DJ Alice V, a reviewer from the States, always says vape responsibly, meaning I respect people that doesn't smoke or vape. Don't just blow your clouds. I always say the biggest hindrance in vaping is the big clouds that we all love with all the flavor. But people see this massive cloud and they're like, oh, that is so bad for you. And then I tell people, do you know that when you're at a rock concert, the stuff that's used in that smoking machines is mostly PG that you inhale at a concert? And they're like, what? So I think just the way we speak and we as vapers conduct ourselves is important in breaking down the stereotype of youngsters vaping, doing tricks. Nothing wrong with that, but that's not what vaping is about. So I'm really appreciative for what you are doing in being on the forefront of it and not waiting to catch up to it, but being before it. And I think we must really all do our part in supporting this cause.
Well, to be honest, we are under attack, and we're under attack by an enormous enemy. And that enemy is ignorance, more than anything else. And you know what? If we just think of what's happening with the world from a pandemic point of view, you know, small business is definitely going to be the future of South Africa. And if we can foster and at least, you know, we got a lot of good conversations with the small business department in government, and they're incredibly excited about having an industry that can grow this kind of way. You know, having small shops employ a small amount of people, because that's where they are, and they are interested. So we're losing the opportunity. As vapers and as people, I've really encouraged you to share your stories, to share the posts that we put up there, because the more we talk about it, the more people get to understand and realize it. You know, we don't have large, giant, multi-million rand budgets to splurge on campaigns. What we do have is a group of highly passionate individuals that have seen the benefits. And if you had to put that into dollar spend or rand spend, that's billions and billions. If we all stand together and share our stories and share the posts and talk. And yes, vape responsibly. I think it's vitally important. It's not necessary to blow giant clouds in a shopping mall or at somebody. Be respectful. You know, vaping smells nice and tastes nice, but effectively, if it's a non-vaper or a non-smoker, you may as well just fart in their face, because that's 100%. The way they see it. Yeah. So, you know, think of it like that.
Yeah. Sorry, just to... Yeah, sorry.
Don't condone about the farting, but it's as bad.
Yeah. I've got two questions, and I'm sure I can link them. These are the most common questions that I've seen in my time of vaping, and I'm sure you've seen it as well, guys. The one is popcorn lungs, which we know the myth behind it. And the other one is called water in your lungs. And I don't know if you guys just want to give some insight on those two things. Sorry, I know we can laugh about it now because we know about it. But if we can just educate out there.
Something quick and short. I'll just do something quick and short. Okay. I'll go first. Look, like I said, when I started vaping, the flavor for food and that, but everything else enhanced for me. I don't know where I would be today. I became more active like super active. I'm very outdoor person, so I do extreme sports and those type of things. And I have not
It doesn't
experienced
show.
anything. I haven't. Yeah, I trail run. I do some extreme sports, camping, but only once I started vaping. To tell you the honest truth, because breathing became a factor, and I haven't experienced any of those myths. That's full on bullshit, if I could say, because it actually made me even faster, even stronger. All of those points. So I can just say no to that. And
I didn't
I mean,
get
I don't know
those
about
side
you guys,
effects.
but it became much better.
Yeah.
I never got those
Superhuman.
faster and leaner and all that. I didn't get that. That didn't happen for me.
I need to vape
Look,
more.
it made me,
Yeah.
it gave me more energy to try new things. I can tell you that things that I was more afraid to do or hesitant to. It just opens up your mind. You can breathe. You breathe here. I mean, not just here. It opens up everything for you.
Great.
From my experience.
Yeah, but I think what they're going on about is, I'm sure you remember a while back, there was all those articles that went, I don't know how to pronounce that product, what Digital or Desica or
Oh,
what was it? You
Diacetyl. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so
If you can go and just explain the concept behind that popcorn lung situation, because I know that's all over the internet for the last couple of years, and we can just poor Sasha. Over to you, Kurt.
okay, so popcorn lung is actually just a slang word for a very well-known medical condition, and I'm not gonna try to pronounce the full scientific name, but effectively what it is inflammation of the sacs within your lungs, and that prevents it literally clogs up the lungs and the person can't breathe. The interesting thing about popcorn lung is the most common of people that get affected by popcorn lung is actually transplant patients and newborns. And popcorn lung is actually, the reason why they came up with popcorn lung is that there was 8 workers in a popcorn factory in the 1970s or 1980s. I stand under correction on the exact date. But there was these 7 people that were presenting with a particular bronchiolitis obliterus, I think it's called. And what it turned out is that in those days, there was no such thing as safety and risk and so forth, where people would have masks when they're working on it. They worked in a popcorn factory that was making this pre-made popcorn, and they were using a powder, a buttery flavored powder, and they were working in there for 20 plus years, 8 hours, 9 hours a day, inhaling this powder. And this powder happened to have a high level of diacetyl in it. And that was linked to them contracting this bronchiolitis obliterus. Once again, I stand under correction on the pronunciation of that name, but that's what it was linked to, is diacetyl. It then turned out that vape juices, in order to get a creamy, buttery feel or flavor, juices like a very popular one was Capella's Vanilla Custard version 1, which has a level of diacetyl in it to give you that custardy note, that buttery flavor. If you think of certain creams that all have that, and some silly, I don't know what you want to call them. I don't know if this is a family show, but anyway, said that because that concentrate had diacetyl in it, it must be linked to, or could give the vapor a popcorn lung, or at least give them a chance of getting popcorn lung in the future. The challenge around that is the normal cigarette has 250 times more diacetyl in it than the strongest vape juice out there. So that blows that theory out the window. The other thing is
Wow.
that there's never ever been a reported case of popcorn lung from a smoker. So where does that come into it? So once
Yeah.
again, we've got the people that are anti-vaping, tobacco controlists, that are trying to try to link these different things based on what we've seen. It's the same argument from nicotine, smoking, and vaping. You know, they both contain nicotine, and therefore vaping is a tobacco product. No, it's not. It's not a tobacco product. It's a nicotine delivery system. And because you have nicotine in cigarettes, you can't classify vaping as a tobacco product. The same way as you can't classify a Caesar salad or a Waldorf salad as a tobacco product either, because they happen to be tomatoes that do contain nicotine in there. You can't classify it as a tobacco product because there is nicotine in there. Very small levels of nicotine, but it's nicotine in there. So they try to jump into these they try to create these links to in order for them to create disinformation as well as fear in people. Sorry, that's Hagrid. He's upset about something. In terms of wet lung,
Yes.
so wet lungs or water on the lungs. If you speak to any doctor that's involved in pulmonology and that, you won't be able to absorb oxygen with dry lungs. So, what's happening? I
So,
hope
Mr.
that's
Khan,
Khan's
are
hand.
you okay?
It is Khan's hand. Are we there? I'm getting feedback. Sorry, guys.
Okay, Khan?
So,
Put your bub on. There we go. Well, you were too sexy. Your phone overheated, and you went to go cool down.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So that's sorry. I just had to grab my wife's phone and come back. Sorry, guys. But don't worry. I caught everything you were saying, Kurt. Carry on.
okay, so water in the lungs is just one of those things that they've just posted out there to say you'll get water in the lungs, and people think water in the lungs is an incredibly dangerous thing. There is no scientific term for it. It's water on the lungs. You know, it's like saying I have water, or water. I have water in my body. You could. It's one of those things. Is okay. So I've got water in the lungs. What does it mean? Is it an ammonia? Is it an infection? I'm very fortunate is that my wife is a pediatrician and an academic, and I have this phenomenal source that I can just dump and ask stupid questions, and she'll come back and provide me with some kind of answer. So water in the lungs just happens to be one of those things about, if someone has double pneumonia or, has mumps on only one side of their cheek or of their face. It's one of those things that actually doesn't really exist. And it's hard to have a discussion because we need to know, what does that mean, water on the lungs? Because if I had to cut open someone's lungs now, it's going to be wet. I promise you, it's going to be wet. Because
No, but I think it's
every other part of your body is wet except for your lungs. I don't know.
Yeah, but Kurt, what you said now, it's awesome because myself, Verdict, and Anna, we have the discussion a lot of times. We have a lot of new vapors, and the problem with us that always goes on lives, we go under the assumption that everyone that's watching understands, which is bad. So now and then we always have to have this refresher because every day, like how we're having a new flavor nearly every week on the market, we're having new vapors coming into our community. And we need to just reinforce the education part because, like how the medical side will say, Dr. Google. And Dr. Google is very dangerous a lot of times. So
Yeah.
it's
Well,
great to have
guys-
shows like these here.
I've done this many times. If you've like and follow Vaping Saved My Life, you can always send me a message. If I don't know, I can certainly find out. You know,
You can ask your
we
wife.
have access. No, even with, you know, I've on many occasions have posted stuff through to Professor Fossolinos in terms of what they've done there. You know, I've posted things to a number of the world leading scientists, asking them on an opinion. A very recent one happened to be on CBD vape juices, and in fact, we were also in discussions around a certain product that was doing its rounds, how they could assist us in identifying an active ingredient in it. So, you know, if there is something that I don't know and I don't have access to, I'll certainly post it there and come back to you. That's always open, and it's always open to this team as well. If you want me to talk about something, I'm more than happy to come on and share what I know about it. So it is. We need to talk about it. We have to talk about it, and we have to educate. And any way you look at it, compared to smoking, it's a vastly safer. It's not safe, harm-free.
But
We
it's
mustn't make that mistake. It is not harmless. It's safer.
safer. That's it.
It's
95.
reduction. Yeah.
Lesser evil.
But it's awesome. I mean, Kurt, it's great to have you on the show, especially our first show, and that's what it's all about. I know anything left for Kurt to discuss. Kurt, the most important thing, I think you can drop your Facebook page, Instagram page, if you don't mind. So we
I wish
can
I
share.
could, guys. I'm on a Facebook ban at the moment.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So we'll drop
so
it
that's
for
why
you,
you
Kurt.
got your second account, Kurt.
You know,
No answer.
I've attracted a certain unwanted attention.
Okay.
So I'm in jail at the moment. This is from my cell.
Okay.
So yeah.
All right. So what we can tell everyone, if you guys need anything, if you need anything from Kurt or ask us questions, you can DM either one of us, and we'll get in touch with Kurt and reply back to you guys.
But I think
If it's
basically,
something
Con,
personal that you might think that you know vaping is causing it, or you might think maybe vaping is doing something to your health or anything, and you're unsure, you know, DM Kurt, Vaping Saves Lives, or any one of us, and then we can assist you on a personal matter on the DMs.
Absolutely.
yeah, and I think
And remember that the web page also has a vast amount of information. There's a lot of medical posts on the Facebook page. There's stacks of information, and that's just the tip of the iceberg that we have around us. So you know, what a lot of people think is that vaping, there's not enough information known about it. That's absolute BS. We know a huge amount about vaping, and we know a huge amount of the effects that vaping could have. And as it states, remember, you know, once again, we draw this. Sorry, guys, I warned you. I waffled, and you said it's okay. So.
Did you hear any one of us complaining, Kurt?
Okay, great.
No,
So
I
here we
love
go.
waffles with cream.
So the Royal College of Physicians has indicated that vaping is 95% safer. Now, the Royal College of Physicians is the most prestigious medical school in the world. It is the gold standard of physicians. So, and it's been around for over 200 years. So they don't produce crap. They don't talk crap. What they say is almost considered as that's it. You can't dispute it. And they will always be on the forefront of these things. In fact, the Royal College of Physicians were the people that warned the world about the dangers of smoking at least 15 years before it was acknowledged as being a problem. They warned the world 15 years prior to that. So they have just recently submitted their 6th report, reaffirming their belief around vaping and the role that vaping could have on public health. And they encourage smokers, if they cannot quit using normal NRTs or other approved methods, that vaping should be the route you should take. So that's the logic that people don't understand, is if you have places like the Public Health England or the Royal College of Physicians coming out and making these statements. And the other thing that happened this week, which has made everybody in the vaping world incredibly exciting, is that the Cochrane Review released a report indicating that the switching of e-cigarettes is the most successful way of quitting compared to other methods. Now, the background of the Cochrane Review is that any scientific or medical scientific body that wants to have achieve the gold standard, the ultimate level of scientific review, is the Cochrane Review. And the way it works is that they take all the studies of a particular subject, smash them together, and they go through a process that can take years and come up with a finding. And the finding in this particular case is that vaping or the use of e-cigarettes is the most successful way for a smoker to quit smoking. So, and that's a big statement to make. And it comes from the gold standard of scientific or medical scientific review. It's huge. It's a huge thing.
If I can just quickly add there, I think about 2 weeks ago on the UK Vape Show, Vaping with Vic and his guys talk about it. It was either on his WhatsApp update on a Sunday. There's talks that the Royal Physicians in England, that group of clever people, are talking about upping the safety standards of vaping now up to 97% safer than smoking. So there's talk about that. That's what I heard. I didn't read anything myself, but someone asked in the chat, Rashid asked, they say vaping is not harmless. It's safer than cigarettes. So what exactly is harmful about it? I'm just going to say what I think. I think anything that you put into your body can be harmful. That's not natural. And we are inhaling something coming from a metal and cotton and stuff. For me, I almost feel that they're just leaving a safeguard in there to say, you're getting stuff into your body that's not always natural. But do you perhaps have any more info on that, Kurt?
Okay, simple, once again, logic. Name me one thing that's completely harmless.
Water.
One thing.
Water.
No, you can drown from water.
Not, you can die from water.
Yeah.
Too much water.
In fact,
you.
Yeah. So if you have too much water, your body will dissolve itself because it needs sodium. Just hang on, I'm going to shout at Hagrid. Hagrid, shush. So the reason why
Sorry, Hagrid just wanted to also get 1 or 2 words in, please.
Because he wants to go to bed, that's why. So the fact that no doctor and no medical scientist or any scientist for that matter could sit there and stand and say 100% safe. And the reason why is that the world population or the human body, 5% of the population is going to have some kind of allergic response or some kind of sensitivity to something. And that's why we have people that are allergic to nuts. We have people that are allergic to seafood. We have people that are allergic to certain cosmetics. So you cannot, under any circumstances, say it's 100% safe. However, what they can say in comparison to cigarettes, it is 95. And they've been toying with the 97% for a couple of years now. They haven't been making it public. And that's based on the fact is that over the last 15 years that they've been researching this thing, that number is creeping up because as the number of people vaping grows and the number of incidences are staying the same, that number is automatically going to creep up. But it's also coming from a standpoint from the UK, which is incredibly strongly regulated and under control. You know, they've got their ducks in a row. They know what they're doing, and they're not allowing things into their market that could cause issues. So that's the environment that the rest of the world, including South Africa, should mimic. Is that kind of approach? Is that yes, have fun, have these devices, but they have to go through some kind of control, and that's why they have something called the TPD2 in Europe. So it is. You can't say it's 100% safe. And as an activist or as an advocate, it would be very foolish for me to say that it's 100% safe. But whenever I have a conversation, I always compare it to cigarettes. Always.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Awesome.
You know, it's amazing that we on a live without giveaways as yet, and we're having so many people interacting and staying focused. So that means it's just awesome. This was a well-deserved show. Instead of the three of us
Thank
sitting
you,
here
guys.
and talking about devices and what we're vaping, talking about the foundation.
Yeah, but
And
yeah, looking at the comments,
Oh,
people are
lovely,
actually
Kurt.
absorbing the information. Yeah, they're actually
but
absorbing
it's
the
just awesome.
information.
Look, there
Sorry,
is
what
some
was that,
other
Freddie?
question. Sorry, Verdict, you say?
I said by looking. So 1 second, I had to blow that out. Otherwise, I have a stick. But I see that people are actually absorbing the information that Kurt is saying, and I actually also learned a couple of things from you now as well, Kurt, which was quite informative to me with regards to nicotine and actual vaping information around the world. Thank you so
You're very
much.
welcome.
Let me say it on behalf of everybody else. I mean, because the comments are going like quite fast here. So yes, thank you.
Kurt, if you do have time, if you can just drop us on WhatsApp, just some information regarding CBD, so we could just answer a question on our post the next time, and then maybe we could cover it in a later show, Arno.
Yeah, we can definitely do that.
Yeah.
I think what we'll do, Kurt, we'll definitely have you back on, and you have our numbers. Whenever there's new info that you need to get out, please be in contact with us. We can share it on our personal pages. We can share it on a live again. We will definitely have you back on again. So yeah, thank you very much for your time. You did the dry runs with us and everything. It was a pleasure having you as our first guest. And we look
Thank you so much.
to hear a lot and talk a lot more about this stuff to you. I think if we can start educating people, the way forward will still be tough, but there will be some smoothness to it. So thank you very much for joining us tonight, Kurt. I don't know if Khan wants to say a last word and say goodbye, and Verdict is blank screen again. So Khan, over to you.
Yeah, Kurt,
Verdict's
you
back.
know what? It was a real honor to have you on our live. I mean, when we discussed who we're going to have as a first guest, I think it was no brainer to get you on. And from the response that we're getting from our live, I think it's just awesome. We need to be more informative and inform our vape community much more. You know, we go on our daily basis. Faceless goes on his daily basis. What's a new flavor? What's lack on inhale, exhale? Myself and Verdict are bouncing on our lives and cutting on for ourselves. But it's always good to give back to the community this type of information. Thanks a lot, Kurt.
Thank you very much, guys. I really, really appreciate giving us the time. I really, my plea to everybody on this channel is, and everywhere else, is like, share, comment, interact as much as possible. Make it a daily thing, because at the end of the day, we could lose it all, everything, and we could lose that opportunity to change. As I said in the beginning, families' lives. It's a big impact. And from a personal experience, it hurts. You know, it hurts. It's difficult to say that I'm the second oldest person in my family, is because that's the reality of it.
Sure.
And that's in many households. Remember that 44,000 South Africans die a year from smoking-related diseases. 44,000.
Sure.
That's 44,000 families a year.
Families.
So please, it's important. I know, let's have fun. Let's enjoy our flavor. Let's make it all sexy. Let's bounce around like Verdict. And but
Enjoy
let's just,
vaping. Enjoy life. You know, it's a gift. Yes, there we go, kid. Oh, yeah. Yo, I'm getting.
But
So-
everybody involved.
you can just see that we're all from the 70s, eh? Lucky we're not doing those years now, eh? You know?
but we got to take a moment in our day to pay homage to this particular technology and to this method, because if we don't, it's going.
Yeah.
And when it's gone, it won't come back. So please, let's just give it the respect and the you know, the honor that it requires, because it is a life-saving technology. Guys, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much. Congratulations. It's really an exciting initiative, and I wish you all the best. And I'm really looking
Thank you,
forward
sir.
to being more involved and being on here frequently. I really hope I can and help you guys grow this. Thank you.
Thanks, Scott.
Awesome.
Thank you very much, Kurt. Hope you have a lovely evening. We're going to go to another topic now that's also important in regards to vaping can save lives, but this can take your life or injure you if you don't look at this. And you will see there's pictures on the screen. Verdict's quickly going to talk about it. There's a picture of a carton in there that we normally overviews, throws away in a review. But Verdict, let's talk a little bit more about battery safety, especially for maybe some of the new vapers that's in here tonight, but also the older guys who's been vaping a long time but has forgotten about battery safety because they think it is okay. So Verdict, over to you.
It is okay.
Wait,
So we're going to go over.
sorry, guys. Just before you go, Verdict, start. Can you just do a dance quickly? Because there's some people in the audience that would like to see you skit a little bit. So let's just get light-hearted before we get into another serious conversation.
But I'm skitting all the time.
Yeah,
I'm skitting all the time.
you have a pen here that says,
Azai.
Oh.
Oh.
all right.
Oh, you're
If you
on.
don't do that properly, you might explode. So watch your hip. Make sure that your knees are in the correct position, right? And toes forward, right?
And your positive does not touch.
God, we mustn't do that. We're gonna
Exactly.
Hip replacement.
Hip replacement. Well, I can say that because I'm the youngest fellow in this evening's live. Okay, so moving on to battery safety. So we're going to go over a couple of simple. We'll be going over a couple of simple things. Maybe there's things that you've heard before, but for those people that maybe have not heard and overlook it on a daily basis. So I'm just going to go through these points quite fast, and hopefully you understand. So the first one is, do not leave charging batteries unattended. They will malfunction in your charger and cause serious damage. Your charger will explode. You wouldn't leave your son or daughter with a knife and a steak knife and fork. Just keep an eye on your charger, overcharging, those type of things. Make sure that your batteries are in the right orientation in the charger as well. That's just to the safety of your charging of your battery. Next point is, do not use a.
Just quickly, I suggest don't leave your batteries in the charger when you're not at home. I'm not like that. I never leave a battery in the charger because if you're not there, you're not going to smell the smoke. Like.
yeah, don't charge your batteries and think like, okay, there's two sets of batteries, you have two sets and leave. I mean, you're gonna come home, and it's not gonna be a home list for you. Don't take that chance. I mean, unless you want to, claim insurance,
Insurance.
that's something else entirely. You know. Next point is don't use a damaged battery. How do you know it's damaged? There's nicks, there's cracks, there's tears on battery. I mean, that's why there's a wrap around your battery. um, it might explode when you're using it. That's an access point for it to vent. Next point is do not expose batteries to extreme heat or cold. Don't leave your batteries in a vehicle. Don't put it in a freezer. Next point, don't let batteries come into contact with water. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a simple fact. Don't let it come into water. Water and electricity are not friends. You shock, you burn, you die. It explodes. Next point, do not, please, and this is quite common, do not carry loose batteries ever in your pocket or in a bag. Don't let it rummage around with other goodies. Let's make an example. It's in your pocket and you have your keys in there. Your keys might touch that positive connection, and it will burn, it will explode in your pocket, and you will be left with third degree burns, second degree burns. I mean, that's not sexy at all when you go to the beach. If you guys agree, I'm not saying you guys wear thongs or anything, but that is not a good look for anybody. Re-wrap damaged battery. So if you see that there is a ripped battery, I mean, it's quite cheap for a battery wrap. It's about 10 Rand, 15 Rand at the store. Get those battery wraps wrapped, and do it. Okay, so don't re-wrap a battery over existing damaged battery wrap. Rather go to the store, have them remove it, and put the new battery wrap around your battery, and make sure
Yeah,
that there
it's
is
called a
a
battery insulator.
Yeah.
battery insulator,
It's a battery
White
insulator.
or
battery
black?
insulator.
Battery insulator, white or black?
Make sure that is there. Yeah, so yeah, it closes that difference in between the positive connection on top there as well. What else? Okay, this is also quite leak into the battery casing. Give that batteries a wipe down. Make sure that it's clean inside. Your contacts are clean. That there's no fluids between the positive and the negative. That there is no liquid in anywhere in the battery area. These are just simple things that you can go over and you can look at. So give it a wipe down. Make sure that your batteries doesn't unusually heat up in your mod. If something like that is happening while you're vaping, there's something wrong. Either that your coil build isn't correct for the battery, like to its end of its life. And another thing is, it's so cheap. There we go. Ono as one.
No, I
Faceless
don't.
as one.
You need to stop,
carry a battery
brother.
case with you
Because
go?
I don't carry extra batteries.
Oh no. Okay.
A reason
Okay, so
why
you-
is I used to before I used to
the
take my
bag?
whole bag with, but now I just move around with the Argus once I leave home, which is easier. One set of batteries and that's it. But yes, I do. When I do go out, I do have my silicone cases that I carry my batteries in.
I think Verdict has frozen. Verdict, are you still there? Verdict, you're talking too fast. You're stuttering. You're talking too fast.
Mhm.
Okay, guys, we have lost Verdict there for a while. So it's okay. Verdict is back. Verdict, are your battery and your phone dying again?
Um, okay, it's overheating at times. Oh, okay, my phone is overheating. I don't know how to solve that, but I can tell
You
you
need to do what I
that.
did, just log off and log back in.
Okay, cool. I'll do that and return with this.
So while Verdict is logging off quickly, I always suggest, and this is while we're talking about new vapors as well, if you're helping someone as a experienced vapor getting off the smokes and moving over to vaping, the first thing I always do is before I get them to vape is I sit them down and I talk to them about the batteries. All the stuff we hear about mods and stuff exploding in media once in a while, it's nothing to do with the device or the mod. It's all about the battery. So I think that's really important that you really educate people when they start switching over. Let's see if we can get Verdict back on the screen.
Anna, while we're waiting for Verdict, what was quite nice is on Saturday, Vaper's Corner had a live and Craig was talking about battery safety. Last night, we had on Rafik Awesome show as well, he was talking about battery safety. So it is becoming something important. It's like your tire pressure. You got to check your tire pressure as often as possible. You got to check your wiring at home to make sure everything is correct.
Yeah.
Uh, that's what it is. It's just safety, safety. Vaping is not dangerous. It's us. It's like a gun. A gun's not dangerous.
Yes.
It's the gun in a person's hand that becomes dangerous. The person that's holding that gun.
Very quickly tell us about that mech thing. Then we're going to
Exactly.
quickly finish off with our juice and then we're going to give some prices away. We're already an hour and a half into the show.
Oh my goodness. So yeah, this is a 21700 and these batteries are from testing different types of coils with different ohmages. So it developed a crust at the bottom of my negative point, right? And basically I used an eraser to clean this little situation here, and the connection and the flow of my power improved. So for those guys who are using mech mods and you get arcing from your connections, and you can clean it with an eraser. And I actually learned this little trick from Mr. Khan earlier in the year. And those are basically the things that I have regards to battery safety, ladies and gentlemen. And if you have any questions with regards to that, I mean, please let us know.
Awesome, Verdict. What I also want to tell the people is after this, we're going to go into a quick Zoom room chat for 30 minutes. So if anybody wants to ask some questions on Zoom, the Zoom link to the room is already posted in Talking Vape South Africa Facebook page and also on my Faceless Vapor Reviews page. So join us after this live for 30-minute Zoom chat. To ask your questions and just tell us what you're vaping. So, Verdict, your batteries are wrapped. Your mod is loaded with two 18650s. What are you been vaping this week? What's the juice you want to show us that you're enjoying this week?
Okay, so I'm vaping the Wismic Noisy Cricket V2 with the Dead Rabbit RTA, the version 2 of that as well. And I got 18 650s in here. And I am vaping Nels Yo-Yo Sub Strawberry Yogi. And I'm really, really enjoying it. On an overcast day and a summer's day, it's really refreshing. And you know how I like to eat. This is actually serving as a mini meal to me as well.
Awesome. So you're on the Yo-Yo Zap. I've bought myself the guava yesterday, and I must say the guava is so lekker. Really
The
enjoyed
guava.
The guava. It's fucking lekker. Mr. Khan, your tune for the evening?
Sorry, guys. I'm trying to get used to this Facebook lives. Where I'm trying to read the comments on one side, so I'm always looking away from the screen. It's unlike my Instagram live, so it's all new to us. The juice that I'm vaping, there was a shitload that we tried, but early on I told you guys, lemon cheesecake by now. I've been on it since yesterday and today the whole day. And my device again is my faithful invader with my colleague. This lemon cheesecake, I mean, from the taste of it, was just an awesome flavor. And then somehow now decided to take it off the market for some reason or other. And I jumped at joy when I seen it's back on the market. And the flavor has changed slightly. There is a change to the profile. There's more of a biscuity taste now in there. So it's just awesome. And then coming back to the Yo-Yo Sub that had, I've been vaping that the whole weekend. Yesterday I was on banana the whole day. Prior to that was the strawberry. And then for 2 days I was on guava. To me, the guava is the winner.
It's amazing. The guava, it's such a really good guava. It tastes like guava and yogurt mixed together. So yeah, I'm on in-house liquids, the toffee, and you mustn't be deceived by the side of this bottle that says a sweet and sticky English toffee, plain and simple, because it's not a plain and simple juice, because this is flippin' lekker. It's my favorite Volksappie of the week, and I've been going on this thing in my Asgard Mini with a little Argosy. And guys, if you're looking for a toffee that is like a Toffo Lux, a really nice English toffee type of vibe, this makes you think a lot about that long plat toffees you got that you wrapped open and you pulled it out, it's stringy. Such a nice toffee. Bavork Industries brought this out. So I think we all can recommend the free juices that we've been vaping on this week. Khan, I know you also had this toffee.
Yeah. Look, that toffee I got, I think, on Saturday. I know, when did I phone you? I think it was Saturday or
You got
Saturday.
it Friday.
Friday, yeah. So I vaped it Friday, the whole day, and part of Saturday. And then I just had to put the bottle away because it's so lekker. That's what I normally do. When I enjoy a flavor, I need to put it away. And then just coincidence, I got the Yo-Yo Sub. So it was the best of both worlds for me. So
Yo, you lucky little long bearded man.
I don't know. I don't know what to say, people.
All I can say is the Yo-Yo Sub, the guava, and this in-house is awesome juices. They work very nicely in a dripper and a tank for me. That Yo-Yo Sub in the QP Fatality has just got enough fruit in it to make it really come through in the QP Fatality. So really, really nice. So Okies and Frokies and my co-host, we're getting to the end of the show now. Thank you to everybody who's been hanging around. We're going to do odd giveaways now. So the first giveaway will be for the Dr. Vapes prize. And the Dr. Vapes prize is a That Blue Stuff limited edition, a nice blue raspberry slushy, and then a Dr. Vapes lanyard along with that. So let's quickly go over to the chat, to the window for the giveaway. Let me find that. And there we have it. And we've got 331 entrants into this competition. So on this live, I'm going to have you email me if you're the winner of this prize at fvr@facelessvaperreviews.co.za. And you will just need to make the subject line Dr. Vape's winner. And please add your ID number in your message to me so I can check, or at least your date of birth. We don't want youngsters winning this because it's not intended for them. So, Verdi, give us a drum roll and let's go for this prize winner. And we're spinning it. Let's see. And the winner is Jonty. Jonty, you need
Jonty!
Jonty is a Jonty Rhodes. You
He caught it. He got it.
you caught it in the gully. Well done. Please email me at EVR.
Was it not the one where he dived over the stumps and took it all out in Australia?
That was Jonty Rhodes, yeah. That was the guy. So congratulations. You need to contact me. Unfortunately, with this competition doesn't give contact details.
Sorry. Freddie, can you just do us a favor, please? Can you just explain to ladies in the comments what's the warp dance?
I have no clue. People want me to do a WAP dance. It sounds like mix it. Those are the letters. WAP, mix it, MXIT. I don't know. En I say, ek gaan jou kry. Ek gaan jou kry.
Pancakes.
So
fires.
Vertical figure that out for us. So we're on the Bevolk Industries giveaway now, and that's the lucky thing. You're gonna win one of this, the toffee with the awesome do juice and the diddles and daddles, a very nice popcorn. I think I reviewed it last week. So
for the dessert lovers, eh?
Which one is that, Con?
This is amazing.
I say those flavors for the dessert lovers. Yes, right. Diddle daddles and the toffee. Bliksem.
Lekker.
Diddle daddles is honestly amazing.
It's the best popcorn out there.
Drum roll.
Yes, let's go. And the winner for all prizes, you need to email me if you're the winner. It is Nathaniel Diedrichs. Nathaniel Diedrichs, let me just write it down.
Congratulations, Nathaniel.
Diedrichs, so you're the winner of the Bevolk stuff. Wayne and the guys will talk to you on how to get it. Please contact me if you are at facelessvaperreviews.co.za. And then we had 3 winners for the next one. This is for the Bearded Viking Customs prize. And I need to get a piece of paper so I can write this down. I forgot all my papers, but I'm going to write on this side of that. So the first winner for the Bearded
Before you choose the winner, what are they getting from Bearded Vikings Customs?
Nothing.
What are they?
Nothing. They're just going to get their name on the screen. No, they're going to be able to do something like this. This is one of my Atty stands. I've got 3 from Brent. This is the Skulk. He gave this to me a year ago in my review channel colors. So you will be contacted by Brent and you can pick your own design you want. You're getting a acrylic tank window. Acrylic tank window, a custom drip tip that you can pick off this site, and then an awesome set of coils. Brent making awesome coils, either the hybrids or the 42 coils. So there's 3 amperes of that, and we're going to see who's the first winner. And the first winner for this one will be it is Joshua V. And then we're going to spin it again, and the second prize will go to Mohammed J. J met my email asseblief. By the third winner will be, I hope it's another J. And the third prize from Bearded Viking goes to attention.
Oh.
Who is that? The beard. It's definitely not Verdict. So the beard, you need to email me at evr@reviews. All the winners, please mail me. Put in the subject line the prize you've won, and then I'll get you into connection with the guys who will be sending out the prizes to you. Guys, that brings us to the end of our first show, and it was a flippin' long one, but I had a lot of fun. So let's quickly talk about where we're going to be around this weekend, what we're going to do.
Before you go there, I know we're getting carried away. You know, we come from IG and we have this time limit where we need to be done in an hour. I think here we're more relaxed and calm, but it looks like we just so chill. Jesse, I am in the show, maar ek probeer om myself to be, how can I say, but formal than normal.
There we go.
Yeah. Brent is also on the live. Welcome, Brent. Okay, over to you, Arno.
Brent tried to call me now. And
Brent and Greg's in the live.
Brent, if you want, you can phone me quickly again. I was on Do Not Disturb. If you're hearing me, I want to see maybe Brent is the beard. Maybe he just tested out the giveaway thing. And he wants us to draw another person. So, Brent, can you comment for us on that? But while we're waiting for Brent to maybe comment in the chat, so what we're going to do is we're going to be hanging out at some vape shops after some of the shows, and then we'll see. And their corners ran away. Verdict and myself will be at Brothers Vaping Lounge in Cape Town from Saturday around 11 o'clock. Pull in, they've got a lekker Halloween fest going on. You can meet some vendors, suppliers, spend money, win something, dress up and receive an automatic 5% discount. And then there's also a lucky draw for a 500 Rand tattoo voucher from Disciple Inc. Tattoo Studio, and awesome giveaways, a lekker vibe the whole day. So if you want to come chill with me and Verdict, bring a Coke saam en kom kuier saam met ons. It's going to be lekker. Verdict, are you only going to be at Brothers on Saturday? I heard you're going to drop into another shop as well.
Yes, besides Brothers Vaping Lounge, I'm going to a new store that arose during lockdown. It's called Vape Locker, and they are in the Plattekloof area. Beautiful scenery. You can check them out. They also have a Facebook page and Instagram page, and as well as a website. Support local and those that are new. But I will be at Vape Locker and Brothers Vaping Lounge. Ladies and gentlemen, pop around. Come say hi. Give me a high five or an elbow. You know?
No, elbow, no of this.
No.
Let's talk afterwards, Verdict, and then I'll maybe join you at that Vape Locker before we go through to Brothers. New shops is always lucky to visit and meet the people. So,
Exactly.
And with Brother Khan on a toilet break here at the end, just before the plane lands, Khan is going to be... Khan will be at the Vape Odyssey shop in the bathroom, taking a pee-pee break. So just knock on the door and say, Khan, hello. So Mr. Khan will be there. We would really like to meet some of you people. Just come say hi, come support the shops, even if you don't want to buy something or can't buy something at this point. We all know it's hard times. Come visit the shops, see the new shops if you haven't been there, and just come drop by and let's see and meet each other. So, Verdict, I don't know, Khan is not coming back, so his phone's also overheated now, it looks like. Any last words you want to tell the people on the chat before we all say goodbye, and after 10 minutes from now quickly do a quick Zoom chat for everybody who wants to join? I would just like to say
thank you for meeting us here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. You are great sport. Thank you for supporting us. Thank you for entertaining everything. Do what you can in the vaping community. Help someone that needs that help. And convert one smoker at a time, one vape at a time. And from my side, that's the verdict, y'all. Peace.
Court's out. That's the verdict. From my side, guys, Mr. Khan, in your absence. Verdict, it was fun. Yes, Khan is back. Khan is back on his fourth phone now. Let's quickly drop him in so we can get some laughs. So ladies and gents, just hold on. You're not in the chat yet. We're just bringing you back because you're on a new link now. We told them you'll be at Vape Odyssey on Saturday in the bathroom taking a pee break, and they must come and meet you there. And he's frozen again. He's there. Are you there?
All right. Yeah. Can you guys hear me?
What's happening? Yes, we can hear you. What's happening at Vape Odyssey?
On Vape Odyssey this week, Saturday, I think it starts at 9 or 10, if I could be mistaken or corrected. I see Desi's on the comments there. She can just say what time. It's the launch for G-Spots, the nationwide launch. So that's where I'm going to be on Saturday. So guys, drop in. That's in Gauteng. I believe it's going to be a bump over day there. It's the first launch since lockdown of a vape juice that I had. Am I right, guys?
Yes, that's one of the first I know about. Verdict's already said that's the verdict. Yo, what's your last words before we say goodbye? And in 5 to 10 minutes' time, go into Zoom. I just need to go to the bathroom also. Last words, Scott?
I'd just like to tell everyone that's joined the live, thanks a lot, guys. Thanks for your guys' support. We're going to try to do this more regular. If you guys heard, it's going to be once a month. But maybe we make it twice. But we just need to sort out the shit of these phones overheating. I went through 2 phones today and they both overheated. So maybe we need to find another way. Maybe I need to stream. Another thing, I'd just like to apologize. I wasn't looking at most of you guys on the screen. I'm trying to adjust of reading comments, and today was lekker, want I could reply to comments by typing them. So that's cool compared to our Instagram. You just see those comments flying down.
Yes, no, definitely.
Yeah, well, guys,
Definitely.
from my side, verdict, Mr. Khan, it was awesome. I couldn't think of 2 better gents to start this venture off with. I'm looking forward to what the future holds. Everybody in the chat, thank you for joining. It's going to get better. All the technical stuff will get sorted out. We've got a couple of weeks before the next one out. So, Masterkinders, have yourself a lucky evening. The Zoom link, someone asking the chat, the Zoom link are on the page. And if you haven't liked the Facebook page for Talking Vape South Africa, go like it. And the Zoom link is in there on the top post, if I'm correct, and also on my Faceless Vaper reviews post. We're just going to drop in for a quick 30 minutes Zoom with some of you guys.
I see someone dropped also a Zoom in there. I don't know whether it's the same one.
That's Mrs. Faceless Vaper, my lovely wife.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Dankie liefie.
Hey, thank
Bye,
you.
donkey.
We'll drop in Zoom for 30 minutes. I know Khan has had 2 long days. Verdict has enough energy to go all night. But I've been hard at work the last work to get this setup of mine ready. You won't know how hard it is to get lead strips right. If that's it, guys and girls, have yourself a lucky evening.
Before you find out, sorry, I'm but lagging here. These comments. Before you guys leave out here, drop questions that you guys like us to do. Drop us questions, drop us ideas, what you would like on the show. We will reply in the comments. I know we got a topic for our next show, which would be CBD, or maybe we drop it in here. So, guys, thanks a lot. And that's it for me. I'm out.